EDGAR CAYCE'S cat prediction is coming true now. Predictions for 2025. What if I told you that your cat might be doing more than just lounging on the windowsill? What if right now it's quietly protecting you, healing you, maybe even fulfilling a prophecy made nearly a century ago? In the 1930s, a man known as the Sleeping Prophet spoke of world changes, spiritual awakenings, and cats. Yes, cats. Not as cute companions, but as guardians of unseen energy. And now, as we head into 2025, many believe his strange prediction is coming true. Could it be that the soft purring at your side holds more wisdom than we ever realized? Could your cat be sensing something big that the rest of us have missed? Stay with us as we explore the mysterious teachings of EDGAR CAYCE, the spiritual power of animals, and what this all means for the year ahead. This is more than a prediction, it's an invitation to see the sacred in the silent. Number 1. Who was EDGAR CAYCE? EDGAR CAYCE was no ordinary figure in the world of spirituality and mysticisms. Possessed a unique gift that allowed him to enter deep trance-like states and offer readings on health, the human soul, and the future. His insights touched the lives of thousands, offering guidance on matters that were far ahead of his time. While many know CAYCE for his predictions about world events or his revolutionary thoughts on holistic health, there is a quieter, more intimate part of his teachings that often gets overlooked: his deep reverence for animals, and in particular, cats. To CAYCE, cats were not just domestic companions but spiritual sentinels, beings that existed in harmony with energies we often fail to understand. In his view, cats were not merely cute or comforting pets. They were mysterious protectors of the home's spiritual balance, often absorbing and neutralizing negative energy without humans even being aware. As our world becomes increasingly chaotic and disconnected from nature, CAYCE's appreciation for cats begins to resonate more deeply. Today, many people are rediscovering the soothing presence of animals, finding comfort and grounding in their companionship amidst modern life stress and anxiety. CAYCE believed that cats had a natural connection to unseen spiritual realms, places where they could navigate with grace and ease, offering subtle healing simply by being near us. This ancient recognition of animals as spiritual allies reminds us to slow down and pay attention not just to the noise of the world, but to the silent, meaningful presence of those we often take for granted. In our homes, cats may be doing more than just napping in sunbeams. They may be gently restoring harmony in ways science still can't explain. If we listen more closely to the energies in our own spaces, we might begin to notice the wisdom that CAYCE pointed to. That true healing and spiritual balance often begin in the stillness, in the company of beings who ask for nothing, yet give so much. Number 2. The spiritual role of cats. Cats have long walked quietly beside humanity, not just as pets, but as spiritual beings with a mysterious purpose. In EDGAR CAYCE's vision, they are more than companions. They are energy workers, intuitive guides, and reflections of our inner world. Their role, often overlooked, may be more important now than ever before. We can understand their spiritual role through 5 interconnected aspects. 1. Cats as energy protectors and sensors. Throughout history, animals have played mysterious roles in our lives, but few are as spiritually intriguing as the cat. EDGAR CAYCE offered insights that went beyond traditional understanding, and among them was the idea that cats are more than companions. They are silent energy protectors and spiritual sensors. While this might seem mystical at first glance, many of us have likely witnessed odd behavior from our feline friends, moments when they stare intensely at what appears to be nothing, or suddenly become agitated for no apparent reason. According to CAYCE, these are not quirks or coincidences. They are signs of a deeper awareness. Cats, he believed, are attuned to energies and presences that are beyond our physical senses. They sense shifts in the spiritual atmosphere of a room, and their reactions are a kind of communication and alert that something unseen is present or changing. In modern life, this takes on new significance. As our homes fill with technology, noise, and stress, the subtle energy around us is constantly shifting. Our mental and emotional states are often frayed, and we may not always notice when something is off. But cats do. Have you ever been going through a rough time and found your cat staying unusually close, curling beside you when you're sad or lying on your chest during sleepless nights? That isn't random affection. It's a form of energetic caregiving. Cats, as Cayce described, can absorb or even neutralize negative energy fields around their human companions. And in the same way, when a cat avoids a certain area or person, they might be sensing energies that are not in harmony with their natural balance. This doesn't mean we need to fear the unseen, but rather that we should become more aware of the subtle language our pets speak. Their behaviors, where they choose to sleep, when they purr, and even when they leave us alone, can be reflections of the energy within and around us. When a cat fixes its gaze on an empty hallway or hides without reason, it might be responding to shifts in spiritual or emotional vibration. And this becomes even more relevant as we step into 2025 A time, when many feel that global energies are in flux and personal transformation is accelerating. In such times, it helps to be surrounded by beings who are sensitive and intuitive. Cats, without words, help anchor us. Their silence isn't emptiness, it's awareness. So what can we do with this knowledge in our daily lives? First, honor the presence of these gentle protectors, respect their space, and observe their behavior as a kind of energetic compass. Second, take their signals seriously, not with fear, but with curiosity and calm reflection. If your cat spends time in a specific part of your home, consider the energy of that space. Is it a place where you feel at peace, or where you often feel drained? Is your cat unusually distant lately? Maybe your own energy needs tending. Let their actions be a gentle nudge to pause and check in with yourself. In this way, Cayce's insights don't belong to a mystical past. They offer real, grounded wisdom for modern souls. The world today may feel more chaotic and uncertain than ever, but some of the best guidance comes from quiet sources. And sometimes it comes with a purr. As we move forward into a changing future, let's not overlook the small protectors in our homes, those who walk softly, sense deeply, and love without condition. 2. Cats as natural healers. Have you ever felt calmer just by having your cat curl up beside you after a hard day? If you have, you're not imagining things and you're not alone. Decades ago, EDGAR CAYCE'S spoke about something that science is only now beginning to confirm, that cats are more than just quiet companions. They are natural healers. Cayce believed that cats do much more than sit quietly in the background. They engage with our energy, our emotions, and even our pain in ways we're just beginning to understand. When your cat purrs, for instance, it might seem like a simple sound of comfort, but Cayce described it as spiritually therapeutic. And interestingly, modern research backs this up. Studies have shown that a cat's purring, which vibrates between 25 and 150 Hz, can actually promote the healing of bones, reduce stress, and even lower blood pressure. Isn't it fascinating how ancient insight can meet modern science like that? But Cayce went deeper than just the soothing sound. He spoke about how cats could absorb emotional energies, especially the darker, heavier kinds that we carry around during times of sorrow, stress, or illness. He noted that after prolonged exposure to a person in emotional or physical pain, cats might even begin to show signs of illness themselves. Could it be that our feline friends are not only sensing our pain but taking it on, in an effort to ease our suffering? If so, what kind of silent sacrifice are they making for us day after day? Think about the moments when your cat chooses to sit next to you without being called, when it lingers a little longer by your side during tough times. What if that presence is a quiet form of energetic healing? This kind of healing isn't flashy. It doesn't involve pills or prescriptions. It's not loud or dramatic. Instead, it's quiet, intuitive, and deeply compassionate. As Cayce suggested, healing doesn't always come through words or medicine. Sometimes it comes wrapped in fur and silence. That line touches something ancient and profound within us. It reminds us that healing can be found in the most unexpected places, in the soft vibration of a purr, in the calm gaze of a cat, in the simple act of sharing space with a creature who expects nothing but offers everything. Have you ever paused to consider how your pet might be playing a role in your emotional or even physical healing? How often do we overlook the wisdom and love embedded in the silence of our animals? So, what can we learn from this? First, healing doesn't always need to be sought out in grand or complicated ways. Sometimes it's right beside us, patiently waiting to be acknowledged. Second, we are constantly surrounded by energies and others. Being mindful of how we affect and are affected by the beings around us, both human and animal, can lead to a more compassionate and harmonious life. And finally, gratitude matters. If a small, furry creature is quietly helping to carry your burdens, take a moment to appreciate it. In doing so, you not only honor your cat, you also begin to heal yourself. If you've ever felt your cat brings you peace or comfort, let's take a moment to honor that quiet healing. Comment, "My cat heals me," if you've ever felt better just by having your cat nearby. 3. Cats as spiritual mirrors. Let me speak to you, heart to heart, about something you may not have considered before, something both ancient and strangely modern. The idea that your cat, that quiet companion who watches you from across the room or curls up next to you when you're still, is not just a pet, but a kind of mirror. Yes, you heard that right. According to Edgar Cayce, cats may be far more than cute creatures. We're talking about sensitive, spiritual beings, deeply connected to the energy of those they live with. Cayce believed that a cat doesn't just exist in your home to chase shadows or nap in sunbeams. It's there to reflect you, your emotional state, your energy, your inner weather. If you're filled with anxiety, chaos, or restlessness, your cat may avoid you, not out of rejection, but almost as if it's showing you what you're broadcasting to the world. On the other hand, when you're peaceful, grounded, and mindful, you'll find your cat choosing to be close, resting near you, or gently brushing against your leg, as if to say, "Yes, now we are in harmony." Isn't that profound? Now, think about it for a moment. How often do we look for signs outside ourselves when we feel lost or off balance? But what if the feedback we need is already right there, sitting quietly on the windowsill or curled at the foot of the bed? Your cat might not speak, but it's listening, it's sensing, it's responding, and in that response is a chance for you to pause and reflect. This isn't about superstition or fantasy, it's about awareness. Just as the Buddha taught, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. Your cat, in its silent, steady way, may be showing you exactly what you're becoming, simply by how it behaves around you. When your inner world becomes turbulent, do you notice your cat pulling away? And when you're calm and in a state of ease, have you felt how naturally your cat comes close, almost like it's acknowledging your presence with its own? So let me ask you, what is your cat showing you today? And more deeply, what is your energy saying about the kind of life you're living right now? This isn't about guilt or blame. This is an invitation, a loving nudge toward mindfulness. Could this simple, everyday interaction with your pet become a path toward greater self-awareness? And if so, how might that shift the way you move through the world? In many Buddhist traditions, we are reminded to watch the breath and to watch the mind. But what if, alongside watching our thoughts, we also observe the reactions of those silent companions who dwell in our space? What if our pets are also part of our spiritual practice, not through rituals or formal teachings, but through presence, through reflection? As you continue your journey, take this teaching from Cayce not just as a curious theory, but as a gentle encouragement to look within. Your cat may never speak, but it might be saying more than you realize. And perhaps the greatest lesson it offers is the one echoed in countless Zen stories and Buddhist teachings: peace begins within. When we settle ourselves, when we meet the moment as it is, the world, including our pets, responds in kind. So again, what is your cat showing you right now? 4. Cats as reincarnated souls. Among Edgar Cayce's most mysterious and heart-stirring ideas is the notion that some cats may not be ordinary animals at all, but reincarnated souls, perhaps even souls that once knew you deeply in another lifetime. For those who felt that almost supernatural bond with their feline companion, a bond that goes beyond affection and into something you can't quite explain, Cayce believed that what you're feeling is real and karmic. In his readings, he often emphasized that the soul's journey is not limited to human lifetimes. Sometimes, a soul chooses to return in the form of an animal, like a cat, to fulfill a lingering purpose, offer spiritual companionship, or even help realign our hearts and minds. This view, though unusual in Western thinking, resonates deeply with ancient spiritual philosophies. In both Buddhism and Hinduism, the idea that a soul can traverse forms, including animalices, tied to the law of karma and the desire to serve or resolve unfinished connections. Think of it like this: not every relationship begins with words. Some begin with a glance, a gentle purr, or a soft paw on your lap, and some may have started lifetimes ago. As the Buddha once said, if you want to know the past, look at your present. If you want to know your future, look at your present actions. If that's true for us, might it also be true for the souls that walk beside us on 4 legs? The companionship of a cat, then, may not be random at all. It could be a reunion, a soul returning to walk with you again, perhaps because you once walked with them. In today's fast-moving world where loneliness often creeps in silently, despite our constant digital connection, it's not surprising that many find comfort in animals who seem to just know us. For people aged 30 to 65, navigating career changes, loss, or the quiet spaces that come when children grow up or relationships evolve, the steady, wordless presence of a pet can become something sacred. And if we consider Cayce's view, this companionship takes on even deeper meaning. The purring warmth beside you might be more than comfort, it could be guidance from a familiar soul, reminding you that you are never alone, that you are seen and loved in a way words cannot express. As the Zen master Dogen said, to study the self is to forget the self. To forget the self is to be awakened by 10,000 things. Perhaps that awakening comes not only from meditation, but also from noticing the silent teacher that curls at your feet each evening. Maybe your cat did not just find you on a whim. Maybe they came back to you, crossing time and form to return to your side. In this light, we are invited to pause and treat our animal relationships with greater reverence, just as cute or calming, but potentially as part of a deeper soul journey. When we open our hearts to this possibility, it can change how we treat all beings. We begin to live with more compassion, mindfulness, and openness to the mysterious interconnections that shape our lives. So next time your cat looks at you in that knowing, timeless way, allow yourself to wonder not with fear, but with curiosity. What if this soul and mine are old friends, simply finding each other again in this brief moment we call now? As the Dalai Lama reminds us, love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive. And perhaps neither can the souls that come back to us, waiting quietly by the window until we're ready to remember. 5. Cultural reinforcement, a universal understanding. When we talk about Edgar Cayce's predictions, especially those involving cats, we're not just diving into a curious corner of spiritual prophecy, we're opening a window into something much deeper that connects us across time, culture, and spirit. Cayce wasn't the only one who saw cats as spiritually significant. In fact, this reverence stretches back through many ancient civilizations. Take a moment to consider how cats have appeared again and again in stories, symbols, and spiritual practices, almost like messengers of something we've forgotten but deeply need to remember. In ancient Egypt, cats weren't just pets, they were protectors of the home and sacred emblems of divine femininity. The goddess Bastet, often depicted with a lioness or domestic cat head, represented both nurturing love and fierce protection. People believed cats could ward off evil spirits, and to harm one was a grave offense. That wasn't superstition, it was respect, a recognition of the mysterious presence cats carry with them. Now, let's move to the Norse myths, where the goddess Freya, associated with love, beauty, and fertility, rode in a chariot pulled by cats. Why cats? Because of their independence, their enigmatic gaze, their ability to sense what is unseen, these aren't traits easily dismissed. Cats have long symbolized intuition, grace, and the ability to exist in two worlds at once, the physical and the spiritual. Even in Buddhism, while cats aren't always front and center, the philosophy still echoes the same truth. Everything has Buddha, nature. That includes the creatures we may overlook or underestimate. Honoring a cat is, in a way, honoring the divine in all beings, including ourselves. Edgar Cayce's view was just another expression of this timeless truth, that the sacred isn't distant or abstract. It lives beside us, sometimes curled up in the sun, watching us with eyes that seem to know more than they let on. So when we see cats featured in Cayce's visions or predictions, especially as we enter 2025, the question isn't just what will happen, it's what are we meant to learn from them now? Are we slowing down enough to pay attention to the subtle? Are we nurturing our intuition? Are we protecting what is sacred within our homes and within ourselves? Cats remind us that not everything valuable shouts for our attention. Some things whisper, and in those whispers, if we listen closely, we may find the guidance we've been searching for. Across time and culture, cats have stood not just beside us, but between us and the unseen, offering wisdom, presence, and spiritual grace. This statement beautifully captures the essence of their role. They are bridges, silent keepers of ancient knowing, and perhaps even little guides in this chaotic world. As Cayce's predictions stir interest again in today's rapidly changing world, it's important to ask, are we tuned into the deeper rhythms of life? Are we only chasing the visible, or are we also embracing the mysteries that ask us to pause, reflect, and be still? The lesson here is clear: don't dismiss the subtle forces that surround you. Sometimes, the most profound spiritual teachers don't speak a word. They sit quietly, blink slowly, and wait for you to notice. As you go forward, let the presence of Catcer, whatever gentle, quiet wisdom exists in your life, remind you to reconnect with your inner self. Trust your instincts, honor the sacred in all things, and most importantly, be present. That's the doorway to peace, purpose, and deeper understanding. You're not here by accident. If you're still watching, the signs are already finding you. Type Cayce's light in the comments to show you're ready to receive deeper insight. The most revealing part of Edgar Cayce's 2025 vision is still ahead. Stay tuned to discover what could shift your life path. Number 3. Predictions for 2025. As we look ahead to 2025, a time that many believe will be marked by spiritual upheaval and emotional unrest, a curious prediction made by Edgar Cayce is now beginning to draw attention once again. One of his lesser-known but increasingly relevant predictions centers on cats. Cayce indicated that during times of heightened spiritual disturbance, much like what we are beginning to feel today, those who live with cats would find themselves more protected, both energetically and emotionally. While to some this may sound mystical or hard to grasp, when we explore it through the lens of daily life and subtle energies, the meaning starts to unfold in a relatable and even comforting way. Cats have long been seen in many cultures as creatures with a deep connection to the unseen guardians of thresholds, sensitive to energy shifts, and able to detect what human eyes cannot. Cayce suggested that their presence could help stabilize the atmosphere in a household, acting almost like an energetic filter. As we face growing uncertainty in the world, rising anxiety, emotional disconnection, and the constant stream of digital noise, it's not surprising that many people feel spiritually off balance. In this context, the role of a calm, grounded animal like a cat becomes more than companionship. It becomes a kind of sanctuary. When a person is stressed, overwhelmed, or feeling lost in a sea of negativity, simply sitting with a cat, feeling its rhythmic purring, can bring the nervous system back into balance. Cayce's insight here may have been ahead of his time, pointing to a truth modern science is only beginning to understand. Animals, especially cats, can help regulate human emotional states in a way that creates spiritual resilience. This doesn't mean cats are magical shields or talismans, but rather that they offer subtle, consistent support for our well-being, particularly during chaotic times. In 2025, many are likely to feel a kind of internal shakinga, quiet unease, that may not be explained by outer circumstances alone. Spiritual unrest, in Cayce's sense, refers to this deeper dissonance between how we live and what our souls yearn for. It arises when society emphasizes material gain over inner growth, when compassion is drowned out by division, and when technology advances faster than our ability to stay human. In such a climate, any presence that encourages stillness, reflection, and emotional grounding becomes invaluable. That's what a cat silently offers, a return to the present moment, a soft reminder that peace can be found in the quiet corners of our homes and our hearts. For those navigating this modern world, filled with uncertainty and subtle emotional turbulence, Cayce's prediction serves as a gentle prompt, not necessarily to go out and get a cat, but to recognize the power of calm companionship, sensitivity to energy, and the importance of creating a sacred space in your life. If you already have a cat, perhaps this is the time to appreciate their quiet wisdom more deeply. Pay attention to how they move, how they rest, how they sense things you might miss. Let their calm influence remind you that sometimes the most profound protection isn't loud or visible. It's the subtle energy that helps you stay connected to your inner peace amidst the outer noise. In times like these, as we prepare for a potentially turbulent 2025, we're invited to rediscover the quiet allies in our lives and to remember that spiritual strength often begins in stillness, nurtured by love, presence, and the most unexpected forms of support. Spiritual practices with your cat. Finding connection in stillness. In the gentle presence of a cat, something ancient stirs a quiet invitation to slow down, breathe, and simply be. While many see pets as companions or comforters, there is a deeper, quieter truth waiting beneath the surface. Animals, especially cats, can become partners on our spiritual journey. This isn't about rituals or beliefs, it's about awareness, presence, and the shared language of stillness. In this guide, we'll explore simple yet powerful ways to deepen your connection with your cat, not just as a pet, but as a being who helps you return to the moment, to yourself, and to the subtle beauty of life unfolding. Number 1. Meditating with your cat. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, our minds rarely rest. We're always moving, scrolling, planning, responding, so much so that stillness feels unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. Yet, it is in this stillness that we often find the most profound healing. Meditating with your cat offers a beautiful doorway into this inner sanctuary. Unlike guided meditations or techniques that demand effort, this practice is quiet, gentle, and rooted in shared presence. When you sit in silence near your cat, you're not just doing something relaxing, you're entering into a wordless communion with a being that lives entirely in the present. Cats don't chase time the way we do. They don't rehearse conversations or worry about tomorrow. They simply are. And in that presence lies a powerful spiritual invitation. To begin, choose a time of day when the house is naturally still, eerily, morning before the world begins its hustle, or late evening when everything starts to wind down. Don't force your cat to sit with you. Just create space. Sit in meditation and let your cat find its own rhythm. Maybe it curls nearby, maybe it walks past you, maybe it stays at a distance. That's all okay. The goal isn't to do anything, it's to be. If your cat settles close, allow the soft sound of their purring, simply the gentle in and out of their breath to become part of your meditation. Let your attention rest on that. No need to analyze or interpret, just notice. If your cat is open to it, place a light hand on their body, not to possess or control, but to feel the gentle warmth and energy they naturally offer. This moment isn't about achieving peace, it's about recognizing it's already here. You may find that this simple act begins to soften something in you. The stress in your chest might ease, your breathing may begin to match your cat's pace. And over time, without even trying, your heart may begin to sync with theirs, not metaphorically, but biologically. Studies show that spending quiet time with pets can regulate heart rate and lower stress hormones. But beyond science, there's a deeper shift, an awakening of your sensitivity to quietness, to life's subtle signals. Your cat might notice something long before you do, a change in mood, a strange energy in the room, and by meditating together, you start tuning into these silent threads too. This sensitivity isn't just spiritual fluff. It helps you stay balanced in modern life, where overstimulation is constant. It sharpens your intuition, not just with animals, but with people, decisions, and your own needs. This practice also nurtures the emotional bond between you and your cat, not through words or treats, but through shared stillness. You'll begin to recognize that your cat, just by being, teaches presence. No lectures, no instructions, just quiet companionship. And in a world where everyone has advice, opinions, and demands, sometimes what we need most is some being who simply sits with us. In that way, your cat becomes more than a pet. They become a quiet spiritual partner, reminding you that you don't need to fix or achieve anything in order to be whole. You just need to pause and feel what's already there. Number 2, caring for your cat's spirit. When we talk about caring for your cat's spirit, we're not just talking about making sure they're fed or have a cozy place to nap. We're talking about something deeper, more sacred. Cats are highly sensitive beings. They can feel what's happening beneath the surface, sensing moods, shifts, and even subtle energies that we might overlook. Think about those moments when your cat suddenly stares at an empty corner or curls up next to you when you're feeling low. That's not random. According to mystics like EDGAR CAYCE'S, cats actually absorb and neutralize negative energy in a space. They act like soft, furry guardians of spiritual balance in our homes. But here's a truth we often forget. While our cats are working quietly to keep our home peaceful, they also need support. Just like we need rest, stillness, and renewal, Our cats need their energy to be nourished and cared for too. So how do we do this? It starts with your space. Regularly cleansing your home can help lift stagnant or heavy energy. You don't have to do anything complicated, just something consistent. Burning sage or Palo Santo, diffusing essential oils like lavender or sandalwood, or even lighting a simple incense stick can shift the feeling of a room. Try focusing especially on the places your cat loves the most, those cozy spots by the window or the hidden corners under the bed. These are sacred little sanctuaries for them, and by keeping those areas energetically clear, you're helping them feel safe and supported. Now, think about sound. Have you ever noticed how your cat reacts to music? Soft, slow rhythms like Tibetan singing bowls or gentle theta wave music can create a space of deep relaxation, not just for you, but for your cat too. Sound carries healing, and in a quiet home, even a few minutes of calming music can create a sense of peace that you and your cat can share together. Light also plays an important role. Cats love the sun, not just because it's warm, but because sunlight helps move and cleanse energy. Try to give your cat access to natural light throughout the day. Open the curtains, let the morning light spill in, and don't forget about those little hideaways under the couch, inside boxes, or behind curtains. These spots matter. Cats often retreat there to process changes or simply to be alone with their own stillness. Make sure those places are tidy, open, and undisturbed. You're not just organizing your space, you're creating an environment where your cat can feel emotionally safe. And when a cat feels safe, their true nature shines. Gentle, loving, wise, and playful. So, let me ask you, how does the energy in your home feel right now? Can you sense areas that feel heavy or quiet spots where your cat often retreats? What could you do today to make that space feel just a little more alive, a little more balanced? When you take the time to tune into your cat's needs on this deeper level, something magical happens. You start to notice a shift not just in your pet, but in you. Your cat might become more affectionate, more relaxed, and more present, and you'll feel it too. The home becomes a space of mutual healing. The air feels lighter. There's a shared sense of calm. Here's the heart of the teaching. Caring for your cat's spirit is a mirror of caring for your own. When we honor the energy in our home, when we create spaces of calm, light, and intention, we invite healing for all who live there, human and animal alike. It's not about being perfect or doing it all at once. It's about awareness. A little incense here, a moment of music there, a few minutes of light and love. These small acts of care ripple out in big ways. So today, take a quiet moment with your cat. Sit with them, feel the energy between you. And remember, in the stillness you share, something sacred is always taking place. As we step into 2025, perhaps Edgar Cayce's message is clearer than ever, not just about prophecy, but about presence. In a world that often pulls us into noise and distraction, the quiet wisdom of cats invites us back to stillness, intuition, and gentle connection. Whether you believe in predictions or simply feel the truth in your cat's silent gaze, remember this: healing, protection, and spiritual clarity don't always come in grand forms. Sometimes they arrive on soft paws, asking nothing, yet offering everything. If this message resonated with you, please support our journey by liking, sharing, and subscribing to The Journey of Wisdom. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming videos exploring the deeper side of life. Thank you for watching, and may you walk gently, live mindfully, and always honor the quiet teachers among us.